Is this thing on? Are we on? How rude. Hello. This should be on. Hi team, how we doing? Welcome to this week's Talkie Tuesday with your host, Winters SEO. That's me. Hi chat, how's it good? What going? Welcome to the chat. We've got a hot topic to talk about today. Dorn must stay dead. I hope you've all seen the Luton video that Luton put up yesterday. But it inspired me because there's a couple of... I agree with all the things, and there's a couple of extra points as well. Evening Jackez. Evening Wolf Boot Chronicles. Still haven't changed your name to Stylus. Sigh. But yeah, well, but before we get on to the hot topic and we talk about why Dorn must stay dead and things, and hopefully together we'll come to some kind of agreement. First, I must always, as ever, check the sound. Is the sound okay? Tell me if the sound's okay. And hello to the Luton. Yeah. Hello to the Mug Club. We're in the Mug Club. No more mugs. The Mug Club is still 48 people. It's an exclusive thing. But hello to my Mug Club. Hello to all the VOD squad watching this later. Hello to everyone in the chat. Wraith Rider, Andy H. Thanks for checking on the sound. The sound is good. The sound is good. I am a little bit out of breath, actually. I mean, I don't leave the house very much, do much exercise. But it's been a crazy week, guys. It's been a crazy week. Hello, Chris. Hopefully you... Hello, Andy H. It's like 47 people. You have two? If you have two, then there's only 47 in the Mug Club. It's not even enough for a small village. But thanks for getting two. I appreciate you, Andy. Did everyone watch the battle report on Sunday? That was a good one, wasn't it? With Brapscallion. That was fun. Playing the murder ball. Wow. Your average per... Hello. Thank you for your donation. I really appreciate you. Is that 20 Canadian dollars? That's like real money. Thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate you. I'm glad you could catch me live as well. Particularly as you're throwing money at me. I appreciate you. Thanks for keeping the lights on and the hobby train going. You are a legend. On that note, thank you to all my members. Thank you to all the subscribers. If you'd like to support me, then click the like button, click the subscribe button, and even more, become a member and get yourself an extra battle report every single Wednesday. Andy says Murder Ball was epic. I'm glad you liked Murder Ball. Thinking of doing a few more. Obviously got a few battle reports in the pipe ready to go. But I'm thinking, I've been doing a lot of 2,000 point games recently. Sons of Horus versus World Eaters versus Space Wolves. That one, you watched that one. That was a 5,000 point one. That was a good one as well. We've got the law glasses. Yeah, we're going to talk about why Dorn is definitely not coming back there, Dagda. I know you got a yellow thing in the thing, but Dorn is not. He shouldn't come back. But he should come back. We'll get to that. We'll get to why Dorn must stay dead in a minute. We're going through the hobby stuff first. Yeah, you've got to buy a mug, Wraith rules, and put the milk in it before the hot water. It's the ways it works. Hi, Sullivan Gilbert. Sullivan Gilbert's in the chat, everyone. Say hi to Sullivan Gilbert. He's coming here tomorrow with 4,000 points worth of orcs to take on the 13th. Not sure how I feel about that. Please project your voice a tad more if possible. Where's Gaz? I'll sit closer. That video title, Heresy. Dorn is not the best. He's a good one, but he's not the best, is he? In the scale of... We did this last time. Like last live stream, I asked some questions like, who's the best Primarch? And I think we landed on Sanguinius or Horus, but he wasn't even in the top 3 conversation, Dorn. He wasn't. He's not the best. He might come back. We'll talk about it in a minute. I'm glad you enjoy watching the Horus Heresy battle reports. Anyway, that's good. The unpacking phase for 4K of orcs is going to take a while. You'd think that the unpacking phase for 4Ks of orcs will take a while, but... Sullivan Gilbert is bringing a lot of big orcs. There's a lot of big stompy robots. Do you have any Drukhari 10th battle reports? Not in the pipe, no. To do 10th edition Drukhari battle reports, I need to have people who've come here with Drukhari, and I don't have Drukhari. So it depends who turns up with what. Kurz is one of the best Primarchs. He's one of the most complicated Primarchs. I don't think we should agree he should come back, because dead is dead. Dead, it's important for dead to stay dead. It's going to be Orcs versus the 13th. Let's wow. Yes. Ferris Manus, no. Listen, Mr. Pace, Chris, and all the other people talking about bringing back dead Primarchs. Dead should stay dead. We can talk about it straight away. Why dead? Okay, let's rant why it's important for dead to be dead. Dorn is not the best power-wise, but he's the best story character, and you grow to love him. He's good at the end. I mean, in the Siege of Terror, they do the Dorn story arc well. And Ferris shouldn't come back with Legion of the Damned either. It's important for dead things to stay dead. He is dead. It wasn't just an assassin. It was, look, Kurz had to let the assassin Michael Sheen kill Kurz in the Heart of Darkness in Apocalypse Now, because if he didn't let the assassin kill him, that means he could have changed some of the visions that he had. So all the horror and all the things that he said he couldn't escape from, because this was the vision of the future, this is what it would be, this is how it would become, so if he couldn't change it, he had no impact on it, then his morality but if he could change it, then some of the horrible decisions he's made and some of the horrors that he perpetrated on people and he could have done something to stop his visions. It wasn't just a flesh wound. He's not better. It's not a flesh wound. He's had both his arms and his legs off and his head. Ferris is dead. The Legion of Damned are dead. Everyone's dead, Dave. Everyone's dead. What an official Perturabo 40k model would look like would be very interesting, with all the calls and all the things. When the assassin, he was leaving, shout and come back, I'll bite your kneecaps. No, Kurz is dead. The Emperor is not arising from the Golden Throne either. It's important that the Emperor's not dead. The Emperor is mostly dead. Have you seen The Princess Bride? If you haven't seen The Princess Bride, watch it. If you have seen The Princess Bride, read the book. It's fantastic. What about the Emperor? He's a bit dead. Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. Exactly. Wrong hole. Right. True love. What true love? Do you mean True Lives? Which isn't True Lies. No, it Zed's dead. True love. Right. Where are we? Yes. Let's talk about the Dorn thing. Okay. Now, first up, if you haven't seen Luton 09's lore video on Dorn must stay dead, then go and watch it. 50 minutes, essential viewing. He talks about lots of stuff and things. It's very important, okay? Hands up in the chat if you've actually seen some Luton's decent video. Put it up yesterday. I want to know what I'm working with here. Princess Bride, mostly dead. Exactly. True love. It's a story of true love, The Princess Bride. The book is fantastic, by the way. Absolutely fantastic. Andy H., thank you so much for your contribution. I appreciate you. The Minotaurs versus the Bat Rep Fund. That no one wants to watch the Minotaurs versus the Bat. No one wants to watch the 13th take on the Minotaurs, because the Minotaurs only go after very naughty boys, and the 13th have been good boys. Dreadnought Sigismund. Sigismund's. We don't know what actually happened to Sigismund. You've watched it. Yes. You didn't watch Luton. We've got 2 hands up in the chat here for Luton. Okay. 2. Norm Queen Alexis will be in the UK in a few months. I'll be bringing my Dark Angels. Be ready. Norm Queen Alexis, check her out on YouTube. If you ever want to play me, hit me up. If you come to the UK in a couple of months, hit me up way in advance, because I'm booking up for I can fit you in somewhere. It's hard to fit, but I'll book you in and pick you up from train station or something. We'll have a game. It'll be lovely. And I could take on your Dark Angels, and I'll be gentle. Because you are looking at the 2021 No Retreat Legend of Legends champions here. You know what I mean? 5 hands up in the chat. Wraith Rider, thank you for your 11 months. Princess Bride was an amazingly massive field. Yeah, the book does massively fill out the backstory. It does. The bit with Ferric at the end it's good. And he keeps adding to it. He saw Luton's video and he's right. Don't make this turn into a soap opera where no one really dies. Consequences, right? If people die, there are consequences. If people just keep coming back, that's the multiverse problem. If there's 2 people keep coming back, or you have a multiverse, then you lose a sense of consequences, and you need consequences. And there's plenty of characters who can die, and plenty of new characters that they can build up in them. Said Lutu was not wrong. Luton was not wrong. Here's a couple of reasons why Dorn must stay dead. Consequences is a good thing. Actually, no. This is what go and watch Luton's video. Everything he said was correct, not wrong, as Gruff says. It's all correct. But there's a couple of points I want to make as well, because we all know that Games Workshop are releasing Primarchs. They're releasing them up the wazoo. For ages, we didn't have any Primarchs. Then we got Magnus, Mortarion, Fulgrim, Guilliman, the Lion, Angron. We've had that many, which is a lot, okay? We had lots of, and now we're gonna... Nice, man. Yeah, hit me up on Insta, and we'll yeah, thank you, Norm. If you come into the UK and you want to play me, door's always open. My wife, she makes lovely food. We'll chill, play a game. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to see you as well. Kate, around today, one of the reasons that inspired this video is because Kate, around my house today, we played a lovely game. It was Luton. Didn't film it, but we played a lovely game. I played yesterday, Horus Heresy. Didn't film it. And I played Sunday with Steve McRob. Didn't film it. I mean, people often ask me, do I play and not film? Yeah, I just played 3 days in a row and didn't film any of them because I love the hobby. I've been nose deep in the hobby last week. I've been doing so much hobby stuff. I'm brimming. I'm bursting to capacity with hobby right now. Ferrus Manus' death was a chaos psyop. No, Ferrus Manus dead. Sanguinius dead. Horus dead. Kerr's dead. Dorn almost probably certainly dead. Andy, thank you for your 25 months. You're making me feel old. That's a long time. Thanks for the, especially the back reps. Cornwall a traitor. Cornwall plenty of missing Primarchs to play with. Don't resurrect anyone. What's your stance on Lorgar? Is he dead? No, Lorgar's very much alive. Here's the reason why it's okay to kill stuff. Look, I talked about this last week. Marnius Calgar. Takiti, thank you for giving the channel love when we first started. Now I have a bit of success. I'm a big fan of you. Check out Takhazaza on YouTube. Yeah, Marnius Calgar got stabbed through both of the hearts by Abaddon and he got better. Yarick is probably coming back. He's okay, right? You've got Dorn. There's dead. Here's the thing. Games Workshop are going to be releasing Primarchs. Primarchs are going to be coming back. But they can release Yarick models, Calgar models. They can release lots and lots of models in codexes for characters who are dead. And it doesn't matter if they're dead or not. Say, here's the thing. Say the Space Marine Codex and the Eldar Codex and the Orc Codex and say these codex had loads of characters in, and 90% of the characters that you're playing with in your codexes are dead. So what? You're playing your army before the person died. Here's Calgar with the Ultramarines before he died. Here is my Drukhari before Azrael Vect died. And here is this before they died. And here are the characters who are not... You can play... The codexes, the lore can continue to move forward, and there can be characters and rules in codexes for characters that are dead. And we can play with them. And who cares? I'll give you a point in question. I'll give you an example. Horus Heresy. Almost all of them are dead. But we still play Horus Heresy. Almost all... It doesn't matter whether a character is alive or dead. In a codex, you can still release the model. What they could do, imagine if a book dropped tomorrow, The Scouring, Part 1, and it was the Iron Cage, and it was Dorn versus the Iron Warriors, and at the end of the book, no one knows this is going to happen. The twist at the end of the book is a grievous and horrible death for Dorn, but a tragic death, a heroic death, and you get to the last couple of pages, oh my Emperor, they killed Dorn. And along with that book, they release a Dorn model, and you can play it in 40k if you want to. If Dorn was alive in 40k, this is the rules he would have, and he runs around with them in 40k. They can move the narrative forward and kill characters as they go, and have the codexes with some characters that are alive and some characters that are dead, and still release the characters and still kill people off. And then there's still a sense of consequence because people can die. they're not taking in anything away from anyone, because you can still play with those characters before or after, if they're dead or if they're alive, it doesn't matter. And you can still add the lion to a unit of admech right now if you want to, or you can put certain characters, you can mix and match, you can add a knight to a thing. It's your 40k. Give us the tools to play our game with, and we'll play our game. And as far as the game is concerned, it doesn't matter in the lore whether the characters that we play with are dead or alive. We'll still play with the characters whether they're dead or alive. Or the whole. If people didn't like playing with characters that were dead, there'd be no Horus Heresy. There wouldn't have been 1.0. There wouldn't have been, and it wouldn't have been so successful. They launched 2.0. No one would have played 1.0. It's because all those guys are dead. I mean, we watch the Titanic. We know the boat's going to sink. You watch Lord of the Rings, and everyone in the chat, everyone who's a geek has read Lord of the Rings. They know how it ends, but they still watch Lord of the Rings, You watch movies sometimes knowing that X is going to... But like June. June just came out. Most of us have read the book or seen the earlier TV show or seen the 1980s Paul Verhoeven movie, and we know how that's going to end, but we still watch Dune. It doesn't matter whether someone's alive or dead. It doesn't take away the dramatic tension of re-watching, rereading, redoing. It certainly doesn't take anything away from playing a video game. It certainly doesn't take anything away from playing anything on a tabletop. And consequences matter. Killing Horus and making sure he's dead. Killing Ferrus Manus, the sacrifice at the beginning, Sanguinius at the end, the sacrifice at the end, matter. Emperor staying stuck on his golden throne matters. Yarok, old man Yarok, finally having a tragic, heroic send off and doing a thing and dying. This could matter. And then there's chance for new other characters to rise up, new stories, and the Yarok character can stay inside the Guard Codex and people can play with him whether he's alive or dead. That's all of Luton's points and that point on top, which is, who says the codexes, they're all next door right now, but who says the codexes have to have characters inside who are alive right now? Where's that written down? They love selling us characters. We're getting Shadrach Medusi, some for the Heresy soon, and Mir, the World Eater guy, Edron Mir. We're getting him. They love putting lieutenants on rocks, and another sergeant on a rock, and another thing on a rock. They can give us lots and lots of characters, and they can be dead. Who says that the characters inside codexes must be alive? As I said, say 50% of the characters that are in all of our codexes die over the next 10 years, and then there's some more. It doesn't change the shape of the game. And then they're missing so many tragic, heroic beats, story moments that they could have by killing and also that's one of the reasons why early Game of Thrones was good, early Walking Dead was good, because you could die. Someone you didn't know who was going to live because they could die. When you've got that sense of threat, that okay, I'm watching someone could die. That sense of threat, that sense of it's important to kill, it's important to stay dead, and it's not important for the state of the game or for model releases that the character is alive. If it was important for model releases that Dorn is alive in order to release his model, then why the hell would they release Shadrach Medusan? Why the hell would they release a new Horus Ascended model? Why the hell would they release Garviel Loken, Abaddon, all of these guys? Because they're all dead. But it doesn't matter to us as gamers whether they're alive or dead to play the game. It just matters from a narrative point of view, and it is more important that characters die. Dorn must stay dead. Consequences must be consequential. Death must be death. Multiverses can't be a thing. Dogs and cats living with each other at the end of the earth. It's, yes, what do we think? Where are we? Bring back Tycho. Exactly, you got Tycho alive and dead. Thing is, I can play a game of 40k with an unnamed chapter master for Dark Angels, which is me either before Azrael or Azrael's dead. Exactly, an unnamed chapter master. You can make your own chapter masters and stick them in the time. It's the narrative at the time of the game. Yeah, you'd say you're playing with your unnamed Dark Angel's chapter master against Eldar, it doesn't happen to be... that fight could have happened 4,000 years ago. And that's the game you're playing right now. Legends are only legends once they die. Yes. Yes. Can you be a legend if you're alive? I mean, I'm the No Retreat 2021 Legend of Legend Champions, and I'm alive, barely. I mean, Yarrick can be up there, literal Gaunt's Ghost. I'm assuming the Gaunt's Ghosts thing, unless they've retconned that, Gaunt's Ghost is still set a couple of hundred years before the fracturing of the Great Rift. So Gaunt and all of his ghosts, being only humans, are dead. But they're in the Codex, and you can play them. I mean, yeah, we don't want Warhammer. As you say, Captain Canuck, it doesn't want to go down to the Warcraft lore route where everyone has a redemption arc and no one stays dead. We don't want that. As Luton said in his latest video, we don't want it to turn into a soap opera where dead doesn't mean, yeah, you could get... Horrors might not be dead. Wow, ruined Gaunt's Ghost right after you ruined Titanic for me. Well, Gaunt's Ghost, did I ruin it? It's supposed to be set, or in the OG. See, this is the thing about Gaunt's Ghost and Eisenhorn and the Ravener series. The Gaunt's Ghost series was supposed to be set originally before Ravener and Eisenhorn, and that was supposed to be set a good couple of hundred years before the Great Rift. So, according to the unadulterated timeline, Gaunt and his ghosts and Ravener and they're all dead by the time the Great Rift happens. But they moved the Gaunt's Ghost Ravener timeline up. I don't know if they've moved the Gaunt's Ghost timeline up, but they are just humans, so they don't live very long. So we're assuming by the time the Great Rift happened that everyone's dead because they're humans. They don't live 1,000 years like us. That's also, if you ever read Gaunt's Ghost, don't get attached to very many characters. You've just got a lot of people die in that book. Ones you like, ones you don't like, ones you hate, ones you love. They're humans in the war-torn grim darkness of the 41st millennium. So just get used to loss. If you're gonna, it's not a spoiler to say that a lot of people die in Gaunt's Ghost. And one of the reasons why Gaunt's Ghost is so good is, for example, the death of a very beloved character, Sure as Sure. The death of, I mean, his death. That's a touching one the first time when you read that. That's a touching one. And if he gets reborn next week in the next Gaunt's Ghost things, because Gaunt finds a magic MacGuffin and he brings him back and but it loses the significance, right? Yeah, Yarrick's death is not 100% guaranteed at this time. Current Ursula model, would they? I don't know. See, that's the thing. You're asking me about Gaunt's Ghost and the Ursula Creed and the current... See, the thing with the current timeline is, one, they did a hard reset. So 8th edition came out, and 8th edition was set a couple of 100 years after the Indomitus Crusade. So they did, hey, here was before, here was the Great Rift, here's the Indomitus, and now we're here. That's what they originally said it. Then they retconned, the first time they ever did this, officially retconned the timeline from the big books and said, actually, no, those few hundred years that we talked about, we'll kill that. We're going back and we're going to say that the Indomitus Crusade is still continuing right now. Ignore that other bit. They put us right back there. And then when they did that, they jiggery-pokeyed around some of the bits from the pre-Great Rift timeline, just a couple of bits. But most of the other stuff is now lost in the mess. And they just sort of shrug it off and go, well, there was time dilation during, before, and after the Great Rift. So we don't really know where things settle right now. So the concurrent timeline for 40k is stuff. We do know some stuff happened pre-Great Rift. But how early to the Great Rift was it? We don't know. We know the Great Rift and the Noctis Eterna lasted for an unspecified period of time. On Terra, it was only 14 days. Some parts of the galaxy, hundreds of years. And then you've got after Great Rift, which is Indomitus Crusade, Guilliman, Lion, Angron coming back. You've got all that stuff. So we've got 3 nice signposts. And we kind of know what's happening now with the lore and what they're doing with the lore right now. But the stuff running up to Great Rift is all a bit shaky right now. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Yes, Sullivan Gilbert is coming tomorrow. He's coming. I love him too. With all those Orky conversions and his prints, 4,000 points worth of Orcs versus the 13th. I'll have you know, I am a little bit scared actually. Because there's going to be many big stompy things. Oh wait, think the way to bring people back from death is to do... Well, no, you see, there are... Okay, so Christian, you're talking about ways of bringing people back from the dead. There are many different narrative hooks and ways that you can bring people back from the dead, and you can potentially do it maybe once. You can do it once and use any narrative hook if you want to. That person came back. But if you do it more than once, then it diminishes their return and diminishes the person who died. Like you can do it with Gandalf once. But then if a bunch of other people start coming back from the dead, you know what I mean? So yeah, you can bring... I mean, Gandalf's a good example. They're a different character after their revival. Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White. You can do things. Hey, the Badger King. Welcome to the chat, the Badger King. I met the Badger the other day. He wasn't the king of the Badgers. He was just the Badger. And I asked him if he worshipped the Badger King and was one... And he said no. He said he was aware who the king of the Badgers was. But the Badger said he isn't my king. He's a king of some other badgers. And I was all very confused because I thought you were the Badger King, not just Badger King. I thought you were, I mean, in your name, it's like the Badger King. Apparently there's more than one Badger King. Who'd have thought? So death is important. Consequences is important. New Primarch models for us to all to get our teeth into, very important. But it doesn't harm sales to have characters in codexes that are dead, does it? He wasn't a false... He was. I don't know if he was a false apostle. He was like the... I spoke to him. He might have been a false apostle. Could this be a slight issue with the idea behind Stormcast Eternals? It's not the only issue with Age of Sigmar, is it? There's a couple of narrative problems with Age of Sigmar. Multiverse is one of them, right out of the gate. All the realms. You lose a sense of consequence. Do I think Valdor will be back in miniature form in 40k? Yes, I do. I think we're going to get the Yellow King. And I think Pandemonium and... Yeah, there's something coming. There's something big happening. Badgers have no king. Badgers need no king. Well, it doesn't matter if they need one. They've got a king. And the Badger King is their badger. I'll tell you who doesn't need a king. Honey badgers. Honey badgers don't need a king. And there is no king of the honey badgers. But normal badgers, they're not... honey badgers, you wouldn't go down a dark alleyway with them, but badgers I do remember that once when I was a teenager. This is a long time ago now, back in the... Anyway, I was cycling at night down a hill, down this footpath. Everything's very safe. It was late. It was a bit dark, and a badger ran out in front of me, and I hit that badger while going down this hill, and I was going at some speed. I don't know who was more surprised, the badger or me, but it was like driving into a truck. The bike stopped. And obviously I didn't stop. I kept going down the hill. Lost a lot of skin that day. And the badger went, ooh, and ran away. He was absolutely fine. I, on the other hand, was not fine. I had to pick myself up from the bottom of that hill, grab a spoon, and use the spoon to collect all my skin and my organs off the ground from around me. And then carry the bike home, because the bike wasn't good either. The badger took the hit, made its invulnerable saves, and it ruined me. Badger, you are definitely the king they deserve. You're not the badger they need, though. The Badger King they need. What about the Grot King? Do you need a Grot King in 40k? Do the Grots need a king? What would a Grot King look like? If the Grots had some kings, would it just be a bigger Grot, so an orc? Or would it be... I guess he would be the sneakiest Grot. I guess. I'm not sure. Anyway, what do we think about the death thing? That's what I think about the death thing. If you got any comments, throw them in there. Let's discuss it, because I missed you chatting while I was doing the thing. If you're in the VOD squad, chuck it in the comments afterwards. I'd like to hear your comments and things about the thing, because I mean, I think it's relatively, and we can say with some assuredness that Primarchs are coming back, because Primarchs have come back. That Primarchs are going to continue to come back, and it's just a matter of time until we see Vulcan, till we see the Khan, till we see Korax. And I'd like to see the Dorn model come back too, but I don't want to see Dorn come back in the lore. I want consequences to have, death to have consequences. I need consequences to be consequential. Surely they'd better bring in new original characters. Exactly, and there's new original characters growing all the time. We learnt quite a few of them during the Horus Heresy, but we learn new original characters as book series continue. So, I mean, Gaunt's Ghosts, ADB's Night Lords guy, he's still kicking around. Eisenhorn Ravener. There's new characters coming through all the time. And, yeah, it's time for other people to shine. We don't want Conrad back. Conrad Kurz needs to stay dead. It completes his arc. If you bring him back, it makes his death and the pain that he suffered and the madness of his visions, it makes them all a bit worthless, doesn't it? Or less worthless. Makari. Yeah, Makari. Makari is the king of the grots. That's nice. Yeah, Luca. Makari is the king of the grots, definitely. I'm guessing Russ with the spear. Russ will be back. Flesh out new characters like the new Chaos Tech dude. Yes, Vashtor can be fleshed out. Like Belisarius Cawl. When he popped up, people were like, who the hell is this guy? And why has he had such an impact on the worlds of Warhammer 40k? Leave it to, and I said at the time, leave it to the authors, ADB, Dan Abnett, Chris Raitt, people like that, Graham McNeil. They'll figure out the gaps and they'll flesh these characters out for us. And now Belisarius Cawl is actually very interesting. He's in the Horus Heresy, he appears in that. 10,000 years ago. He's had 2 good books so far, and both of them are good and worth reading, and his character is very interesting. And he's also appeared in the Dawn of Fire series and a bunch of other books. So the story arc of Belisarius Cawl and the potential schism, or not schism, the way he skirts around the Admech's absolute religious buffoonery and says, well, tech heresy is a thing, but what I'm doing is not tech heresy, and here's why it isn't tech heresy. Because you can argue against the heretical if you're a Mechanicum Dominus, Archmagos Dominus, who's been around for 10,000 years and met the Emperor. You can argue those things, and they'll go, oh, you met the Omnissiah? Okay, yeah. And yeah. So that side of things is all fleshed out and quite deep. And then also the stuff with the Noctlyph, with Blackstone, and what he's trying to do there with the Necrons, his story arc right now, he's deep in the lore. Very interesting. Very interesting. Adam, you are late. I'm terribly sorry. You haven't really missed anything. Something about a flock of seagulls. And, yeah. What about Dorn coming back as a dreadnought? No. So, before the heresy began, there was a bunch of Primarchs that we thought were dead, but there were 3. Well, there were a couple that we knew definitely died. So before the heresy happened, we knew Kurz definitely died. We knew Sanguinius, Horus, Ferrus Manus, Dorn, and Vulcan definitely died during the heresy. And Vulcan lives. They made that happen. But during the heresy, you've got Kurz's visions reinforcing the fact that Dorn is dead. They brought... It's complicated. But he shouldn't come back. Why Dorn specifically? Because it's important for... Why Dorn specifically? Well, we know... Okay. So Ferrus Manus should stay dead as well. Sanguinius should stay dead as well. Kurz should stay dead as well. It's not Dorn specifically. It's the Primarchs that we know have died, and not just the Primarchs. The characters that we know have died should stay dead, because if Ferrus Manus stays dead and should stay dead, then the tragedy that happened right at the start of the drop site massacre on Isfahan 5 has so much more weight and consequence. Not only was Isfahan 5 the site where it's estimated 500,000 Space Marines died in one day, a Primarch died there as well. We're talking about industrial scale slaughter happened there. That's why it's called the drop site massacre. And it's the cherry on the cake. That's important. Sanguinius' sacrifice at the end is important. Kurz's death loop with his visions, and then the vision of his death, and then allowing him to die, the contradiction, the breakdown, the madness of his visions, that's important. So it's not just Dorn, it's the importance of death and consequence. It's not personal. It's about, it adds weight to the grim darkness that we're in. Do you know what I mean? It makes the grim darkness grim and dark. It makes it darker. See, but the Eternal Crusader, as I said, you say here, if I can't have my Primarch run about with my Templars, then no one else should have Primarch. So what I said was, they can kill him, but we can still get a Dorn model. Where is it written that you can't play, if there was a Dorn model tomorrow, Imperial Fist with Dorn in it, even if he's dead? Why can't you do that? I'll give you an example. Ferrus Manus died right at the start of the Horus Heresy. Boom. But they made a Ferrus Manus model, right? And thousands of Iron Hand players, millions, billions of Iron Hand players have been playing with Ferrus Manus for the last 10 years and putting Ferrus Manus against Kurz and Ferrus Manus against Horus, and here is my 3,000 point Iron Hands list with Ferrus Manus in it. All the time that they're playing with Ferrus Manus, they couldn't play with Ferrus Manus because he died right at the start. He was decapitated, gone. But this is what would happen if Ferrus Manus hadn't died and he's now fighting your Space Wolves. Why is the Iron Hand fighting Space Wolves? Because you're traitors now. No, you're traitors now, and they still play. And just because he's dead doesn't mean he can't get a model. Just because other models exist for characters in 40k, it doesn't mean that they can't have models too. Death shouldn't affect the model range. Death doesn't affect the model range in Heresy. I want a Dorn model, a lovely 40k Dorn model. I would love a lovely 40k Dorn model to be released at the end of a 40k Dorn book where he dies a tragic, heroic death. I want to see the Scouring with Dorn and the Iron Cage. I want to see the fall of Caliban with the Lion and Luther, and I want a Luther. And in the Scouring with the Iron Cage with Dorn, I'd like a Dorn model. In the Caliban with Luther, I want a Luther model. I want these Scouring epilogues to happen and books for them and models to come out for them. And I want rules so I can play them in my games of 40k or Heresy. Just like I can play Ferrus Manus in Heresy even though he died. And just like you can play a bunch of other characters even though they're dead or not. Death shouldn't affect whether you play with the thing. Brap Scallion is in his house. Hi, Brap. Ain't nobody want a boring humanish sized Primarch for a loyalist again. Give us a batshite mad Corax. Yeah, we talked about, Corax coming back being a bit caca as he's been floating around the warp for 10,000 years. And he is somewhat changed according to his lore for him is old, so it can be retconned or it can be manipulated. But he's not supposed to be... Yeah, you're right, the Badger. Yeah, Iron Hands players got the go-ahead and are allowed to play with their Primarch model. They got the go-ahead to play with their Primarch. I see what you did there. That was funny. I think Warhammer 40k should almost embrace alternative history, at least on the tabletop. Have some alternative timeline campaign supplements, but make it clear this is not canon. Boom, Christian Capon. Christian Capon. Look, Warhammer 40k doesn't need to embrace alternative history, at least on the tabletop, you said. Yeah, so on the tabletop, it needs to embrace alternative. Every time Warhammer 40k is alternative history on the tabletop. That's exactly what it is. Loyalists fight loyalists all the time on the tabletop. In Heresy, in 40k, in Kill Team. It happens all the time. Every time that you say, hey, here, this is my Dante. Like every time the Tau fights someone that isn't, they don't have faster than light travel, okay? So every time the Tau has met the Votan, it just, Warhammer 40k on the tabletop is alternative history. That's exactly what we're playing. These are the stories that we make up between ourselves. My list of dudes is fighting your list of dudes. These are the reasons why. Here we go. I don't think that Perturabo should be a Demon Prince either. I would love it. Here's the thing. So some of the bad guy Primarchs come back and they're Demon Princed. Some of the good guy Primarchs come back like the Lion and Guilliman, and they're obviously fine. But let's make it a bit grey. So let's have bad guy Primarchs come back. Maybe Alpharius / Omegon. Maybe Perturabo come back unchanged. Lorgar unchanged. Let's have some bad guy Primarchs. I mean, I don't think they will be. Maybe just Lorgar. But let's have at least one bad guy Primarch who is not a demon thing. Who managed to perfectly hold on to all their bits and pieces. And they're still just bad. And Lorgar would fit the bill. And let's have some good guy Primarchs come back. Like Korax or Russ. I mean, he went flying in. So Leman Russ took the 13th Great Company with him into the Eye of Terror to kill all the traitors. And he hasn't come back since. Let's have Leman Russ come back out of the Eye of Terror all wolfed up and werewolfed and why does Leman Russ have to look like a supermodel? Why can't he come back look like he is, you know? Perturabo is not Chaos aligned. Chaos is Perturabo aligned. Yeah. As far as we're aware, Perturabo is a demon. There are bits of lore here or there that say that Perturabo is ascending. I think the thing is, once you spent a long period of time in the Eye of Terror, it's going to sink in like radiation. Like the Eye of Terror is like drifting around in a warm bath for a very long period of time, and it feels lovely, all that chaos tickling going on, and before you know it, your skin is all pickled and you're changed, and bits of skin is falling off. I don't want Dorn that's been tortured for thousands of years and left the reservation. We had that in the Solar War. He was tortured for thousands of years and he left the reservation. Until we saw the light of the Dark King and then we had that. We don't need it again. In the last bit of the last few bits of official canon that we've had about Dorn is that he is dead. And it's important for consequences. It's important for overall narrative that death is permanent. You could make Dorn's return to the narrative glorious and a tragic hero death. There's still a book there where he dies, but does something heroic, and there's still an opportunity to bring a model back and we can play him on the tabletop. We can play our game on the tabletop with miniatures that are alive or dead in the canon. Who cares? Brap, thank you for your 27 months. Has it been that long? 27 long, arduous months, he says. All the best, big man. What's currently on the painting desk? I thank you for asking. So, currently on the painting desk, we have sneak peeks of... We're getting on with Iron Hands. There is an Iron Hands Praetor / Sergeant with all the bits on. That isn't zooming in properly. I don't know how to do this. How do you... There you go. The bases are from marchofwar.co.uk. We've got other dudes. So this is the year of the Iron Hands. All the bases and all the fiddly bits. Like, I mean, you see him, all the skulls and all the things. That's all from marchofwar.co.uk. All the bases are from marchofwar.co.uk. Working on the Iron Hands right now, but I want to do the Raven Guard video that I keep promising people about doing blacks. Hello, Killer Kriegsman. Thank you for the Biscuit Fund. Dropping in with more Biscuit Fund money again. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. The narrative game with Brat was lovely, wasn't it? Thanks for being in the chat. I said right at the start, the one that I did with Brat, which wasn't just a standard 2,000 point game, would be... So that was nice. And then I did the 3,000 point game with Sultan. So I've got another 3,000. I want to do more games that aren't just 2,000 points Leviathan mission deck ones. Now, I need to do the Leviathan mission deck ones still a lot, but not 100%. Not 100. I think about 90% of my missions have been the Leviathan mission deck. You know what I mean? Hi from Australia, Brendan. What you doing up this early? It must be stupidly early there. 1 minute. If it's evening now, and they're forward in time, that means you're in tomorrow. That means it's like 6 a.m. in Australia. O.M. Emperor. That's too early. Go back to bed, mate. So yeah, I mean, about 90% of the battle reports have been Leviathan mission deck ones, and I want to change it to about 50-50. Because it's just, there's a lot more to be done in 40k than just... You can play 40k your way. You can play Murderable. Like me and Brap played Murderable. You're coming back down in July, are you, Brap? World exclusive. You're coming back down in July. But it won't be just me. Oh, yeah. You are coming back, aren't you? 13th of July. You do like the narrative missions, Inshan? Yeah, thank you. Dig out the old chapter approved books. They have some great missions in them. They do, Stuart Fields. Hey, Brendan. No, where are we? Brendan, you know you're in Australia, 6 a.m. Stuart Fields, he's down from your neck of the woods as well. He's in that bit hanging off the end. What's it called? Hobbiton. He's in the Shire. Holler, Oscar, do you get the bends if you come down south too often, Brap? Brap is, I tell you what, when Brap comes down here, we have a lovely time. He comes down and play a lovely game, have lots of fun, throw things at each other, you know, grab each other in a headlock, do the whole thing, take the game very seriously and make sure that we give you guys the genius tactical plays that you've come to expect when me and Brat play. Like, I'm sure you've all seen the battle report on Sunday and the levels of tactics in there. There was emergency disembarkation. I don't think I've seen that in a battle report before. There was genius levels of play, high level competitive play, me and Brat Scallion. I cooked the dice specially for it and everything, turned on my aimbot. It was lovely. And then in the evening, we hit up Sultan and we go out and have a few pints. And the evening's even better than the game in the daytime because we have a few pints and we talk 40k non-stop for hours until they kick us out. And they always kick us out because we won't stop talking 40k. Because if you ever meet Brat or Sultan in the flesh, you can't get a word in edges anyway. And look at me. So imagine all three of us talking over each other all the time. It is a muster cluck of 40k-ness. Brat using first company detachment, I know. It commands respect. It does. What about 2v2 allied armies like Tyranid and Cult versus Iron Hands and Admech? 2v2 is very good. It's a great idea. The only problem about doing 2v2 is this is just me, and I rely on all you guys to give me the love and to give me the likes and subscribers and the members and the things like that to keep this going. And I also rely on all you guys to come here and play me. People like Brap, people like Sullivan Gilbert, people like Wolfboot Chronicle. So when you're talking about 4v4 games, I need 3 people to come round at the same time to meet and do the... It's hard to arrange. It's hard to arrange because, you know, it's everything that you see happens because someone else has been generous, either with their time, with their money, with their hobby. It's I love this community, man. It's so full of. Here's another thing. I should mention actually. March of Winters is happening this year on the 6th of October. Announcement. Someone in the comment section in the VOD squad afterwards pin this thing so I can mention it at some point. Thank you. Announcement. March of Winters 2024 is happening on the 6th of October in a Element Games in Manchester. And right now, the Badger King is doing 1,000 squigs. 1,000 squigs. Because one of the games that we're going to be playing at March of Winters is called Squig Game. And it's basically dodgeball with squigs. That's how serious events are when I run them. And then there's the other game. One's going to be called Squig Game. The other game is going to be called... Last year we had Cat Catcher. This year we're going to have Cat Herder. We're going to be herding cats. Herding cats, dodgeball with squigs. Thank you to the Badger King for doing 1,000 squigs. He sends me pictures every now and then. I'll show you guys this. You're going to love this. This is the behind the scenes. This is the generosity and time and effort that people put in to make sure. This is the kind of community I have. Look at that. Those are thousands. There's 80 squigs glued and stuck on bases ready to paint. And when I say 1,000, I don't mean I'm not. This is not hyperbole. It's 1,000 squigs. It's not 800 or 1,000. It's 1,000. He's doing 1,000. Zulus, thousands of them. And Lady Ferron too. Yes, your lovely wife is doing it too, and she's fine, by the way. I asked the Badger King, is like, how is she doing with this thing? He said she's fine, and I know that it goes awesome, great, not bad, bad, horrible, apocalyptic, fine. And when she says fine, I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna hate me forever and ever. But I appreciate you. So yeah. What were we talking about? Lady Farron, yes. Oh no, sorry to hear that. I guess, yes, right. Squigs for all, yes. So, anyone looking for a ticket and coming to join us at March of Winters this year. It's called March of Winters because it's me, Winters, running it along with marchofwar.co.uk because I need the help. It's going to be at Element Games in Manchester on Sunday, the 6th of October, because we couldn't get a Saturday one-day event, 3 games. Book your tickets by going to the March of War website. Go to marchofwar.co.uk. You'll find under the events ticket information by one day. 3 games. The points limit is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All the ones. 3 games of 1,111st birthday. That many points. No Titanic units. But Legends choices are allowed. Why am I doing that? Because I don't want someone turning up with a Warhound Titan or someone turning up with 2 knights and a baby knight. It's a 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 points. The missions that I've designed as well, Squig Game, Cat Herder, they're obviously, you can tell that they're competitive. No, they're not competitive. They're random and they suit mixed lists. I'm struggling to make a 1-1-1-1-1 list, but I got to 1106 on Eldar. You're 5 points under. Or 1102 on Dark Angels. They're your options. Anyone who turns up to the event with exactly 1,111 points will get exactly $1,111 million from me. Yeah. Guaranteed. No joke. Are you allowed to say that on the internet? Someone might actually believe me. It was March of War asked me, how many points are we doing this year? And I just literally finished watching Lord of the Rings for like the 78,000th time again. And it was like Bilbo saying goodbye to Frodo. And it was like, it's got to be 11th. Looking forward to visiting Element Games. They have shiny new Knight Castigator waiting behind the counter for me. Do they? So you're coming all the way from Hobbiton to this side of the world, and you're picking up a castigator from Element Games. They're lovely people. They're lovely people. You're going to enjoy Warhammer World more because it's Warhammer World, because it's the center of the earth. But Element Games are lovely people, and Warhammer World has that. You've got to go to the miniatures display. Obviously, go through the thing. You'll spend hours in there. You're lovely. Do I plan on ever doing a Heresy Day event? There is. So, again, in the Winters SEO Discord, become a Tier 2 channel member or higher to get access to the Discord. There is a Horus Heresy event happening on the 23rd of June. It's a one-day Horus Heresy event. 23rd of June. You'll find it in the Discord. I am not running that, but I'm going to that. So, it's an event with members. And then the 29th and 30th of June is a 2-day 4-mission event at Firestorm Games in Cardiff, which I'm going to as well, ran by my community. You find the details in the Discord. So March of Winters is the one I do. King of the North is the one that Brapscallion does. I've got people in the community doing other ones, and all the community events that either I run or my community run, I try and go to every single one. Will I end up doing a Heresy one myself at some point? The answer, I tell you, is probably. I probably will end up doing one at some point, but we shall see. Or where are we? Hi, chat. Yes. So rant. Where? Good. Right. So it's been busy. It's been busy. Like I said, I played yesterday. I played on Sunday with Steve Not Rob, introducing into Heresy, so we didn't film. I played on Monday with Alex SEO, and a bunch of new stuff turned up from Den of Imagination, so we didn't film. Den of Imagination Painting Studios are sent through. I need to do a video for them. Sent through some upgrades, new stuff for the Sons of Horus that I've got, including Dorn and Garviel Loken. I've got the Loken model. I got Loken. Didn't film that one. And then today Luton came up, and Luton's getting into 40k. So we didn't film that one because he's only had a couple of games of 40k. So he's like, so we were chatting, talking about lots of stuff and things, and played a lovely game. We do hope to film one at some point and bring you like Luton versus Winters, which will be competitive, down to the wire. No, it won't be. It'll be a narrative thing. It'll be narrative all the way. Imagine me and Luton doing competitive 40k. What a waste. Oh dear, we'll be telling stories. I tell you what, talking about a guy who can chat. That guy can chat. Me and him. Chatting. Yeah, have a check out the Discord. Ikelmomo if you're in the Discord. If you're not, you need tier 2 and a higher. And then there's a Heresy event on the 23rd. And then there's the Firestorm event for 40k on the 29th and 30th. And then March of Winters is happening on the 6th of October at Element Games in Manchester. Get your tickets from the March of War website. And I will see you, if you're going to the 23rd of June, 29th or 30th of June, or the 6th of October, I will see you at any and or all of them. So that is happening. So that's where we are with the events. And someone kept asking me about Chaos Gate Demon Hunters. So I checked it out. By the way, chat. I do listen to you. Chaos Gate Demon Hunters is on my thing. Okay? So if anyone has actually played Chaos Gate Demon Hunters in the chat, anyone at all, I can see what you say, because this is actually a very good game. And it is very addictive. And I have to stay away. See, when Space Marine 2 comes out, it was you, was it, Adam? It's your fault. Don't tempt me, Frodo. You nearly pulled me in there. You nearly pulled me. Because it's good. You finished it. You love it. How long does it take to complete? Yeah, there is new 40k content out for Call of Duty today. I know. Relic, Riot Shield, and the Space Marines and all the things in Call of Duty. I know. See, the thing is, Adam, Scout Armor. I know. Yes, there is 40k. Who'd have thought it, right? Yes. Brap. Yes, it's beautiful. Scout Armor, chainswords, all the things. I know. In Call of Duty. Who'd have thought Call of Duty would ever do a Warhammer 40k crossover? But they have. I know. See, the thing is, Adam Zan is trying to get me into Chaos Gate Demon Hunters. and it's good. The problem with video games with me is I need it to end. So Space Marine 2, come back. No, you see, look. Space Marine 2 ends. Space Marine 1, I need my video games to come to an end, and then I'll probably play them through again on a harder difficulty. But then at least I can walk away. But when they go on and on and on and on and on, I will keep going. I will immerse myself. Yeah, I can't. I need to. I played Fire Warrior back in the day, Last Imperial. That was actually it was okay. Bolt Gun, I heard about Bolt Gun. One of the developers for Bolt Gun is actually in the members Discord and was telling me to play it a lot. I never got round to it at the time. What was I doing at the time? I might do Bolt Gun because Bolt Gun does come to an end. So I might do Bolt Gun, you see. Yeah. There's expansion packs too. Adam, how long does it take to complete it in total? Chaos Gate Demon Hunters. Is it free on Game Pass at the moment? Because if it's 100 hours there, I can't play. See, the last big game that I played, which I did complete, but came to an end, was like Witcher 3. And that was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. Bolt Gun is free on Game Pass. Damn it. Bolt Gun. I'm worried about video games sucking all the life. Because I'm actually 40 to 50 hours is a long time, you see. Who has time for games? See, the Badger King is deep in the squigs, just doing squigs. And if I do games, then I stop doing dudes. And I've got quite a bit of a painting mojo right now. I'm doing very well with all the painting right now. I mean, I've got next door. In the last month, I painted 45 Iron Hands, 10 Terminators, and a few tanks and things. And I need to do a video on it at some point. But I need to do the Raven Guard video first. Elden Ring is pretty good. Elden Ring is just death, man. Elden Ring just takes all your time, right? Elden Ring, the amount of time. It's like Skyrim, one of the best games ever made, Skyrim. How much time in the end? How much time? BG3 was 200 hours, and I stopped painting during that time too. Yeah. I really like to... Yeah, thank you, Inchin. Thank you. Keep the paint going. Listen. Yes. Listen not to Gaming Temptation. While you've got the hobby mojo going, while you've got the painting mojo going, you should ride that wave for as long as possible. It helps if you have a couple of audiobooks on standby or a couple of good battle reports on standby that you can listen to. But while you've got that mojo going, keep pouring on that mojo. My brain is so tiny, I can do one thing or the other. I'll be painting or video games, I can't do some painting, stop that, and then play some video games, and then tomorrow night do a bit of painting, then the night after that do some video. I can't do that. It is all or one for me, which is why Brap is trying to tempt me back into Call of Duty on the Warzone. But if I get back into Call of Duty on the Warzone, then the other thing you don't know, Brap, is when we're not doing our stuff on Friday and Saturday nights and smoking fools, then on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whenever I've got any free time, I'll be in the Call of Duty. I won't be able to, you know. Has anyone else got the hobby mojo right now? Am I on my own with the painting thing? Or is anyone, because the weather outside, it's a bit summery. Hi, Wrath of Constantine, welcome. You're just heading home from work, yes. Do you think, however, that painting mojo comes in waves? I feel guilty after not painting for a bit and then it come back to it at full speed. I think sometimes it goes up. Does it come in waves? Yeah. To a lesser... Sort of. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Chase your bliss, says Brap. You're mixing it up, but you do what makes you feel good. Yeah, you like mixing it up. Brap, you've got many hobbies. He's a Brap Scallion. He's a brap on the mean street gangsters. He's in a band. He does rock climbing, and he does work for charity as well. He feeds orphan seal pups on the shores of Loch Lomond at the weekend. And he also runs marathons at least once a month, every month. And Brapscallion as well is a part-time pilot, but he doesn't like flying that much because, it's not very environmental. So Brap's got about 8 hobbies, and he can jump between the two. But me, the Shadrach Medusa model has got me going. It does look good. Inshan, you're deep in the painting mojo. Your old Deathwing with the new ones, update, nice. Stuart is in the hobby mojo right now. 6 Eradicators, a Brutalis, and 20 Infernus Marines. That sounds a nice chunk there. 20 Infernus Marines jumping out of a transport, 10 and 10. 6 Eradicators. That's a good chunk there, Stuart. I like it. Brap is in the hobby mojo. Have you seen how many people are demanding Minotaurs for 13th on that video? What? Brap, what are you talking about? This is the first time I've ever heard anyone ever mention that the Minotaurs take on the 13th. Why would the Minotaurs take on the 13th? The 13th are loyal, and the Minotaurs, ruled by the High Lords of Terror, only go after traitors and renegades and things like that. This is the first time anyone's ever mentioned it ever. I've never read it in a comment and never heard anyone say anything about it before. And 2, I can't even see a reason why they would fight together. My mojo has started working by my first heresy full army of Emperor's children. Nice. Ikelmo is in it. Just converting up the name Dreadnought character yesterday, and we'll paint it tomorrow. You mean Ancient Rylanor? What cowardice. My voice isn't trembling. It's not trembling at all. Nurgle Demons currently. Creature Caster. Goo Proxy is beautiful. Yeah, I'll tell you who else does some really good proxy demon models is Den of Imagination Painting Studios. You can get the miniatures that they themselves produce by doing the Den of Imagination Patreon. Or you can go to my mini factory and find them there. Or you can go to marchofwar.co.uk, because if you haven't got a 3D printer and you don't want to go... So basically, if you do their Patreon, or if you do my mini factory, it's 3D printing files, SDL files, things like that, and you're a 3D printing person. But if you want to buy the miniature itself, then you go to marchofwar.co.uk, because he's got a something license and he can print them and send them to you. They do outstanding demons. Really nice. Not Games Workshop demons if you want to mix up your demon range. 10 out of 10 would bang. Why would the Minotaurs take on a Loyalist chapter? What about the Lamenters? Well, they were led astray. I mean, who in the chat wants to see the Minotaurs take on the 13th? It just seems like... It seems like Brat will come all the way down here and we'll play a game of Minotaurs versus the 13th. Brat will be very happy at the start, and then he'll cry at the end after I kick his ass. And then I'll put it on the YouTubes and we'll get like 2 views. I mean, I can't see anyone wanting to watch a fight between the 13th and the Minotaurs. I think it is just Brap who just wants it to happen because he thinks that the Minotaurs could beat the 13th. I don't know. We can edit out the crying. Yes, Brap. We'll edit out you crying afterwards. Oh no, my glorious Minotaurs. Asterian Moloch is dead. He can't. It's no. You know, it's just no one wants to see. See? Does anyone want to see the 13th versus the Minotaurs? Nothing. See, it's quiet. So we'll move on. No one. My point proven, Brap. No one wants to see this except you. The 13th are loyal. Be quiet. Inshan. Beric. Shh. No one wants to see this apart from you. The Minotaurs can coming... Sullivan Gilbert is going to end the 13th tomorrow anyway, so there isn't going to be any 13th left for the Minotaurs to fight. No one there's like, yeah, we could do the Minotaurs versus, who haven't you gone up against yet? How about the Minotaurs versus the Custodies, because the Custodies are catching the Minotaurs and laying down the law on them, because your little troop of Minotaur guys decided to go off in their own direction rather than the direction of the High Lords of Terror. So the Custodes go after the Minotaurs and slap the Minotaurs down. How'd you like them apples? Yeah? How'd you like them apples? I mean, spoiler alert, your Primarch, the Minotaur's Primarch, was Angron. He wasn't a good guy. Surely the Custodes would only go after the Minotaurs if they beat the 13th. Well, maybe they'd go after the Minotaurs anyway, because the Minotaurs were very naughty. And Brap doesn't like the apples. Look, he doesn't like the apples at all. We could do that. Custodes versus Minotaurs. There'll be a lot of gold and bronze rolling around on the table. And then not do the 13th versus the Minotaurs. Angron and Perturabo? A spicy cockbow. I didn't know the Perturabo link. I'd heard the Angron link. Brap isn't the best, Paul. Don't say Brap is the best. He's not the best. He's not even the second best. Okay, he's nice. He's a guy, but he's not the best. I mean, the best. You're looking at Tom Brady. You're looking at Gandhi. You're looking at I don't know. Brain fart gone. You're looking at a brain fart and Gandhi, but you're definitely not looking at Brap. Brap is, the Squig has better teeth. The Squig now called Brap on Grugger Chugger's base, and he's not the best, is he? Just found Den of Imagination's Chaos Knight weapons look like the painting table will get a bit busier. Yeah, Stuart, they do. I should really shout them out some more, shouldn't I? Because I've got a bunch of different Chaos Knight weapons from them on my Chaos Knights. And this is where you can, yeah, they do some stuff, some really good stuff. Moloch would be able to take on Valerian? Nah. I think Moloch, he is a chapter master. He is a chapter master, Moloch, and he's a different kind of chapter master. But Valerian, I mean, it's Custodes, right? Custodes are supposed to be, I guess, it depends on which Black Library author is writing them, because some Custodes written by some Black Library authors are clearly better than Space Marines. But there's some of them that bring them close to parity. But they really shouldn't be equal. Because if the Emperor made the Custodes to help protect him and keep him safe, his own personal Praetorians, his honor guard, and the other thing that he made could kill them, then he didn't make these right. He either made these too weak or these too strong. These could clearly kick the Space Marines' ass. Otherwise, it would have been the other way around. He would have used them as the Praetorians and them as not the... You know what I mean? Thank you, Brap. Thank you. Yes. I'm not ducking you, but thank you for stopping by. I'm not ducking you. It's just I didn't realise that anyone wanted to see the Minotaurs take on the 13th. Why? Blue versus Bronze. The game I've wanted most since I found your sweet ass on the telly box. Well, you should have mentioned it before. The people want to see the 13th get trashed by Brap. I mean, noble, honourable combat between these two Imperial factions. See, there's a couple of things there. The people don't want to see the 13th get trashed by Brap. 1. 2, Brap couldn't trash the 13th even if I had half the points of him. It couldn't happen. It couldn't happen. It's statistically impossible. Not even improbable. It couldn't happen. 3, when you say the people, what you mean is Brap. And he's barely a person. I mean, in the animal, vegetable, mineral range, I'd put him somewhere between animal and mineral. It's time for a Thunder Warriors army. See, the Minotaurs take on a Thunder Warriors army is a good idea. And, yeah, we don't want to see the 13th and the Minotaurs go at it. It'd be boring. Space Marines, Brap and Badger want to see it. See, there you go. Brap wants to see it and a Badger. And I don't think Badgers really watch 40k. And it's Space Marines on Space Marines. It'd be boring. How about a crazy matchup? Orcs versus Mono, Nurgle, list, green and green. Green on green. Orcs and Nurgle. Bam. I wonder what would smell worse. A big orc with all the or Nurgle. I guess Nurgle wins the smell thing. But the squishiest and the best. Yeah. Be a hard one to call. Pardon me, where did that come from? So yeah, mental hobby week. Lots of playing. Hardly any filming. The Sunday video went down really well. Dorn must stay dead. We covered that and my reasons why. And if you're coming into the stream at this point, then you can go back and watch those things, because I think I made some very sensible points. We've all agreed that the 13th and Minotaurs is a Brapscallion wet dream. It's not something that we actually want to see. You don't want to see the 13th and the Minotaurs clash, so that's good. I've told you that tomorrow I'm doing a 4,000 point game. Yeah, Nurgle would smell more, yeah. Well, I'm doing a 4,000 point game with Sullivan Gilbert, his Orcs versus the 4,000 points of the 13th. But I'm going to bring a knight along because he's brought some big stompy things. And big stompy things versus a whole army with no big stompy things would be it could be a bit overwhelming. So I need at least one stompy thing. So I'm going to bring one stompy thing to go with the 13th against his stompy things. Because we've had two fights before, me and Sullivan Gilbert. There was the right flank and then there was the left flank. And we said when we did the first one, hey, this was what was happening over here. And then the second one was, well, this was, now we're doing the central thrust. I'm not sure if Sullivan, if you're in the chat, did I actually, has Solgaro turned up yet? Who can I actually put in as my warlord in the middle? I don't know. So that's happening tomorrow. That's going to be fun. Then Just Greg is coming down on Friday and we're doing a heresy one, and then two mental people are flying over from Switzerland at the weekend to come and play me. Just again, people from the community, members. Yeah. Can we come and play? Yeah, so they're coming over. They're going to visit London on the Friday or the Saturday, and they're going to Warhammer World as well. But while they're here, London, Warhammer World, me. Why would you do? I don't know, but they're both coming. That's going to be fun too. Swiss people are very nice, and they have lots of firearms, and we like guns. It's not Brave Sir Robin. Is it Brave Sir? Did you bring out Garrow? I'm bringing out Garrow, am I? So it's Garrow, is it? I'm bringing Garrow. I'm allowed to bring Garrow then, Sullivan. It was right flank, left flank. Swiss, they can leave the mountains, but they have loads of guns. Did you know, like, they've got, like, more guns than... They've got lots of guns. We like guns and rocket launchers and explosions and exterminators. Garrow, so I'm allowed to bring Garrow. Thank you. I'm writing it down. Garrow, that's 1,000 points. Thank you. And then tomorrow, the next battle report that goes up on Wednesday for Winter's channel members, tier 3 and higher. Tomorrow's one is 3,000 points of Blood Angels versus Death Guard with Sultan plays. So I did one recently with Sultan brought 3,000 points of Black Templars versus the Death Guard. So we ran that back with 3,000 points worth of Blood Angels versus the Death Guard. Slightly different Death Guard list to see how they would do. And that one's coming out tomorrow for channel members when it's Wednesday. No Tinky Yuku. No Minotaurs versus the 13th. I asked earlier how many people want to see Minotaurs versus the 13th, and just 2 people said so. So, no. Game 1, he gowered in the corner. Game 2, he hid behind 10 Terminators and versus 10 Grots. So what you're saying is Garrow was in Game 1 and Garrow was in Game 2. So Garrow shouldn't be in Game 3 because he's been busy. He was over on the left flank, and then he got in his Thunderhawk, went across and went down the light flank. So no Garrow. No Garrow. No Garrow. He's already been a busy man. It sounds to me like he was in the right places he needs to be as the tactical genius that he was, Sullivan Gilbert, in my games against you. It sounds like he was exactly where he needed to be. Like in Game 1, he didn't cower in the corner. He was tactically... Did he die in Game 1? I'm sure he didn't. And in Game 2, behind in the mid... in amongst 10 Terminators, I'm sure basically what you're telling me is in 2 games versus your orcs, you haven't killed him. Is that what I'm hearing? Sullivan? Sol Garo didn't run away. I mean, we're just trying to, because I can't remember because I play so many games. I'm fairly certain Sol Garo. No, he didn't run away. He didn't. Brave Sir Robin ran. No, he's fine. So in 2 games versus your army, he hasn't died. And I think I've killed your warlord. Twice, I think. I think I killed your warlord in both games. It was Penelope in one of the games. Because I remember the bike swung round and I got it. Yeah. So that's actually what's happened, right? This is the trilogy. This is the Return of the King. And in the previous 2 games, you're 2 warlords down. Exactly. 2 games in, 2 warlords down. I'm 2 games in, 0 warlords down. We're not battle shocked and not running away. Tactically positioned to be in the perfect place at the perfect time to direct traffic. You see? 3-way battle. Orcs versus 13th versus Minotaurs. No, because then the 13th and the Minotaurs would just beat the crap out of the Orcs. Done. I couldn't not attack the Orcs. He has situation awareness, exactly. How was it playing the Thousand Sons in Heresy? Playing against the Thousand Sons in Heresy was very good because I like Heresy and because the Thousand Sons feel very Thousand Sons-y. Couple of caveats though. Andy H, Simply Warhammer, Andy hadn't played with many thousands. It was quite janky because of experience level with him, and quite janky with me because never played against Thousand Sons before. So it didn't flow as smoothly as some of my Heresy games flow because there was a lot of rules checking going on, making sure this was getting and making sure that was. So it was fun to see what they could do, and they can certainly do what they should do. They do the voodoo that they do so well in Heresy. They're the only ones that can master the psychic stuff like psychic people should. Words. And once we're both smoother with it, it'll flow much, much, much better. But that one was a bit janky. You do need to play the Minotaurs of Lamenta someday. It is a thing. So yes, so that was the thing. 3,000 points. What are we talking about? So Sullivan Gilbert tomorrow. 3,000 points tomorrow for Winter's Wednesdays. I think I've uploaded it already, and it's there ready to go. There's a bunch of reveals and stuff happening at the weekend, which I can't talk about yet. From Games Workshop. No Garo tomorrow. I feel like it's a shame you've had what? You feel like it's a shame that I've had the Minotaurs on twice and there's no Space Marine or Space Marine fighting. Yeah, but that's, you see, that's what they expect. The Minotaurs expect to turn up on a planet and do some, but no, you gotta throw him a curveball. Like Brap comes down, he's like, yeah, I finally get to play the 13th. And it's Orcs. And then he gets, well, next time I definitely do it. And I say, yeah, okay, that'll be fine. And he comes all the way down and it's Death Guard instead of Orcs. And then it's actually 3 times. He's been down 3 times because there was 8th. I think he's been down 4 times. He's been down quite a few times. He's been down a lot. But with Minotaurs, it's at least 3 or 4. But yeah. When does the Luton report go up? As I mentioned earlier, yes, I did have a chance to play with Luton today. And that one we didn't film. Luton is getting back into Warhammer 40k as a game. So we were just playing with each other. He enjoys my battle reports. I love his content too. So he came up here and we played a game and had a chat and drank some tea and talked a lot. And moved some miniatures around, and I helped teach him some of the special moves, some of the moves that I might have employed in the 2021 No Relate Legend of Legend Championship, because you are looking at the Legends Champion here. So I teaching him like Darth Vader to, you know, that's what was going on. Teaching him how to do the wrist thing, how long the dice should sit in the microwave for and at what point of the microwave, how when you put your hand in to pick up some of your miniatures that are dead, how with a quick whisk, that finger there, you do that and you can take away an enemy miniature as well. Like that. So when you're picking your miniatures up, you do the twist, boom, and you pull out, and your enemy won't notice that one of their little miniatures is gone. That's also a top cheating tip for you. Two things with that. One, it degrades the amount of attacks that they can put back at you over time because you get and two, you end up getting a nice new collection over time. You keep doing that in every game. Before you know it, you've got Eldar or Orcs or a whole other army. Do a little finger twist, boom, one more miniature out. Obviously, you can't do it with tanks and things. Tanks and things are a bit trickier. It takes bait and switch while they're packing their army away over here. You can go, oh, look, a chicken, and then pick up the repulsor and put it in your panko, and you know, stuff like that. His Contech is epic. Yes, I am. I've got 100% win rate at WTC, ITC, NXVGs, MVGs, IMG. 100% win rate at the LOVG. I'm basically a GT champion. Yes. New YouTube short, dice in the microwave. That's a good point, actually. I should do some top tips on how to microwave your dice. But the problem is, you guys have got a great sense of humor. You're nice, you're kind, you're fluffy, you know stuff, you're intelligent. But if I put that up on YouTube, the rest of YouTube, by the way, have you seen what the rest of YouTube looks like sometimes? The comment section, I mean. Some of the people in there, honestly, you wouldn't want to take them home to meet your mum, would you? Because they're not, you know, some of them even don't have eyes. Some of them lurk in the dark places with claws and horns and feast on the dead. But you guys, you're lovely. You're lovely, chatty. You got a sense of humor, stuff like that. But yeah. You got to be careful out there with the rest of the internet because there's horrible things on it. If you look really closely and really hard on the internet as well, you'll actually find people who collect Craftworld Eldar. It's just terrifying to me why someone would sully themselves with a wasted, degenerate, dead race that failed in all regards and gave birth to a chaos god. And brought about mass genocide of many species because of the birth of Slaanesh. Why would you ever do that to yourself? There are horrors out there. Eldar players. They're not the best race, Archon. Dark Eldar, if you're Archon and you're a Dark Eldar, that's fine. Dark Eldar are fine. The true kin, they're fine. They know they did wrong and they're like, yeah, come at me, bruh. People like a villain. People like Hannibal Lecter. People like Darth Vader. People like, Eric Cartman. People who are absolutely horrible and know they're horrible. There's something redeeming and honest about that. And the Archons and the Kabbalites and the True Kin, at least they're honest. But other Eldar, not all Eldar. No, because not all Eldar are the same. Exactly. Not all of them are the same. Not all cats are the same, for example. You got black cats, tomcats, Bengal tats, and then those ginger cats, they're violent AF. They're not the same. So not all cats are the same, okay? You got different types of bears. You've got polar bears, lovely, cuddly, take them out for drinks. You've got brown bears, lovely, cuddly, never mauled a human in its time. Koala bears, lovely, cuddly. And then you've got pandas. Punch them. 2 black eyes, pandas. Just who likes a panda? No one likes a panda. They're just wasting their lives rolling around, eating bamboo when they're meat eaters with their sharp teeth, and they're just addicted to the fermenting. They're permanently drunk or stoned or something. That's what they are. That's pandas. Waste of time. Should be extinct. Gone. Not all bears are the same. Not all cats are the same. Not Eldar are the same. Craftworld Eldar. No, not the same. But you guys. Red pandas are gods. There's we went to see, yes, they are gods. Love a red panda. Love me a red panda. They're so cute. So cute. No Garrow. No Garrow. You've had your Garrow fill, Sullivan Gilbert. I just don't see the point of pandas. Even Kung Fu ones. I don't see the point. Bit lazy. Never had a job. You know? What do you mean no Garrow because he's running away? No, he was already there. He was on the right flank and the left flank. He doesn't need to be in the central flank. He's out of breath. He's already done. Pandas are just a toy advert. There you go. See? And Garrow is not. No, he doesn't run away. Sometimes he may have tactically repositioned here or there, but we already established that in the previous fights with Sullivan Gilbert, Garrow has got a 100% live record, and his war boss is 100% dead record. So, yeah. He's not running. He's being attacked. I against Luton today, he turned all the way up, came up, played game 40k, showing him the ropes, things like that. I obviously put Sol Garrow down on the table, the 13th against him. Like, he didn't run away, deep struck in his lines, charged into his Lich Guard, slaughtered them, cut them down to a man. It was nice. Did some proper murdering. Ah, dear. Anyway, what was time? Hour and a half. We're an hour and a half in. We're way over the hour. I normally like to try and do an hour. I normally always end up at an hour and a half. So this is your 2-minute warning. Any more questions, suggestions, feedback, things? Congratulations. Cheers to everyone in the Mug Club. All 48 of you. Twice for Andy. Appreciate you all. Cheers to all my channel members, subscribers and things. Please hit the like button, share, follow any YouTube thing that you like on any channel. Just like, sub, comment, something. Feed the machine spirit algorithm for us YouTubers out there. We really, really appreciate all that kind of feedback. And a triple thank you to anyone who is a channel member out there, because without you, there would be nothing for anyone. There wouldn't be any free videos for anyone. So thank you to all of you members and everyone and things. Love you guys. Why no heresy reveal at the next event? We're only getting a teaser. I don't know. They don't tell me anything. Is there any chance of a game of Orcs versus Imperial Knights may turn up? Yes, there is. I think either this weekend or next weekend. Already filmed. Ready. It's in the pipe, ready to shoot. Yes, Orcs versus Imperial Knights. Yes. Is that the one I did with you? Never a chance to say thank you live. So thank you, Winters. Thank you, Brendan Keevers. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, it's been lovely. I've had a great week. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all your comments, suggestions, thoughts and feedback. And thanks. Take it easy. Thanks. Yes. This is the way the world ends.